What up, fam? It's your boy, Slenderboy 2024, streaming to you live. Yeah, I was gonna do another review, something that would have required a visual aid, but it's been raining cats and dogs all night, just like last night, so the cards are just against me. I figured instead of that, I think I am going to do another hot take, another change my mind. I haven't done one of those in a while, and I read something earlier today that kind of got me thinking. So this is my little hot take that I want to hear people's opinions on this one. But basically the Wii U and the Switch, right? The success and the failure of the two, it's night and day. And I read a statistic today that really it's so sad and it's so pathetic, because I'm a Wii U defender for sure. If you want me to like pick a side, Wii U versus Switch, I'm gonna pick Wii U every day of the week. That's just how I roll. But yeah, the Wii U, I forget the exact numbers, but this will put things into perspective. The Wii U sold X amount of units during its 5-year lifespan. After 5 years, Nintendo pulled the plug and discontinued it. In just 10 months of the Switch being alive, in the Switch's first 10 months of life, it surpassed the Wii U's lifetime sales. The Switch sold more units in 10 months than the Switch did in 5 years. And that is just incredibly, incredibly sad. That puts things into perspective, just how it was night and day. How much more successful the Switch was compared to the Wii U. Oh, my umbrella is... Yeah, look at what I'm doing. Oh, there we go. The wind just turned it inside out. Anyway, where was I? But yeah, my whole thing is, and we'll see where people fall if you agree or disagree, but my take is the Switch's success was built upon the backbone of the Wii U's failure. In fact, I will say, not entirely, not 100%, but let's just say, I'm going to say 50%. 50% of the Switch's success was due to the Wii U's failure. The Switch owes quite a good deal to the Wii U. I mean, let's start here. The Wii U's design, in a lot of ways, you could look at it as kind of a proto-Switch. The Nintendo was testing the waters for like a handheld console, basically a handheld, gaming console, like a hybrid, if you will. Because obviously the Switch's whole thing is that it's a tablet that also plugs into a dock and you can play it on your TV. The Wii U wasn't that different. The Wii U was a home console that plugged into your TV. However, it utilized a gamepad, basically a gaming tablet in the hand that interacted with a TV, not unlike the Switch. And the only difference is the Switch was completely independent of the dock. The Switch you could take out of your home. You could go anywhere with it. You could play Skyrim anywhere. You could play The Witcher 3 anywhere. That was the big draw of the Switch. And people knew that if you bought a game on the Switch version, that meant you could take it on the go. So, like, why would I buy, The Witcher 3 on Xbox? Well, if I buy The Witcher 3 on Switch, I can leave my house and play it. I can go to the park and play it. So that was a huge draw for people to buy Switch ports of games. Whereas with the Wii U, I remember commercials that I think were lying to you, because they would say like, oh, you can take the gamepad and you can go in your room, or you can go in your kitchen or whatever. I couldn't walk 5 feet away from my Wii U with the game. The gamepad would always say like, oh, it's too far away, or it lost connectivity or whatever. Maybe I just had a bad gamepad. I don't know, but it was really bad actually. I couldn't even leave the room. So that was it would have been cool if the Wii U, you could take the gamepad into your room and continue the game off of your TV. That's kind of what the PlayStation Portal is, and that's why I like the PlayStation Portal so much. Is I can I can play on my TV, or I can take the Portal, go into my room, go outside, go somewhere else, and continue the game there. But yeah, where was I going with this? Oh yeah, so there you go. The Wii U was kind of the backbone. It was kind of like a proto Switch in a lot of ways. And I'll go a step further. Looking at the library, the Switch's library, it honestly pisses me off quite a lot. I mean, we'll go into it. We'll go into it how there are Switch exclusives. Of course there are. The Switch's success isn't entirely dependent on the Wii U. However, you have to admit, you can't deny the fact that quite a good amount of the Switch's library is simply ports of older games. Not even always Wii U games. Like let's look at Skyward Sword HD. That's a port that's a port of a freaking Wii game. You know, I mean, yeah, they upscaled it to HD and all that stuff, but that's an old game. How much of the Switch's library is old games? I mean, freaking, it's crazy. I mean, I get it. It's good for people that didn't buy a Wii U, which is a lot of people that are getting to experience these games on their Switch. That's fine-ish, but for people like me who bought a Wii U, it was kind of like Nintendo spit in our face. I mean, it wouldn't be that hard to, in some way, honor people that bought the Wii U. I mean, it was like a double whammy where Nintendo, they pulled the plug on the Wii U basically instantly the second that the Switch came out. And they shut down Miiverse, they shut down the eShop pretty soon. They killed the Wii U, and then they ported over almost every single game. I struggle to think of games that were on the Wii U that were not ported to Switch at this point. I know for the longest time they said they couldn't port Xenoblade Chronicles X because of like the whatever, the control scheme or whatever that uses the game. The gamepad was too integral to the control schemes. They couldn't port it to the Switch, and guess what? They ported it to the Switch. They finally did, the definitive edition. So that's another one. Yeah, no, give me the list of Wii U games still exclusive to Wii U. It's like Paper Mario Color Splash, Nintendo Land, Star Fox Zero, Kirby and the Rainbow Curse. Not much. It kind of made the Wii U. I mean, the Wii U was already kind of irrelevant, but it definitely killed the Wii U. It made it super obsolete and irrelevant. There was no reason to buy a Wii U anymore. And I mean, sure, you can say that to an extent with every console that, like, you know, the Xbox One, you know, made the Xbox 360 obsolete. But I mean, I don't know. It's there's something to be said for a system to have its own unique games library. Yeah, you know, like when you think of like the Wii and it had the Wii Sports, or it had Skyward Sword with those motion controls. Like you think of that console, and you think of like certain games specific to that console that helped define it and give it an identity. The Wii U was kind of robbed of that with the Switch by again them porting every Wii U game over to the Switch. And, you know, for those of us like myself, it's like, well, why would we buy the same games twice? Or at the very least, Nintendo, they should have honored us. I mean, we were the ones that showed up and supported their other console. We bought the Wii U, we bought the games full price, and now you're selling them again to us at full price, another $60 for the same game, except it's on Switch now, with like marginal improvements or marginal new features. You know, Tropical Freeze now has cranky mode. Oh wow! You know, and you're charging. That's an odd one because they charged more than the Wii U release of that game. So like that makes a lot of sense, right? But like, I don't know. I'm sure there's a way to do it, like some sort of cross-gen discount, where like, especially if you have like a Nintendo online account or something, like they could recognize like, oh, you bought Tropical Freeze on the Wii U, so if you buy it again on the Switch, you'll get a discount. Like how hard would that be? And that would be at least a tiny sign that like they're showing like, oh, we acknowledge you. You know, you showed up, you supported our Wii U console. Let's like give back a tiny bit. No, we want you to pay full price. Fuck you. You know, like basically just spitting in our face after you've already killed our console, spitting in our face, making us buy the same games for $60. It sucks. It's horrible. So I'll always be pissed off about that. I will always be pissed off about the treatment Nintendo gave to the Wii U owners. But that's neither here nor there. So once again, I was looking at the list. Let's start here. We're gonna go over the Switch launch lineup, and then we're gonna go over the year one games on Switch. So for Switch, the launch was what? Nothing. The Switch's launch was pretty. I mean, you know, it really depends on how big of a Zelda fan you are. If you're a big Zelda fan and you were hotly anticipating Breath of the Wild, then the Switch had a great launch. It had a great launch title. One great launch title. If you didn't care much about Zelda, then there was nothing else you cared about. Because the only other games were 1-2 Switch, you know, who cares? Snipper Clips, who cares? Super Bomberman R, like maybe a couple people cared about that. But none of these games were console sellers. The only console seller was Breath of the Wild, which was a Wii U game as well. It released at the same time on both consoles, and from what I heard, the Wii U version actually ran a little bit better at launch. It did, and as far as I know, there were no additional special features for buying the Switch version. It was the same game. So my whole spiel here, my whole like hot take. Um, Imagine a world, okay? Imagine a different timeline where the Wii U was successful. Everyone bought one. Not everyone, but like, let's say it was about as successful as the Wii, or a little bit less successful. Okay, so everyone has a Wii U. Everyone has these games on Wii U. This is the new timeline. I want you to think about this. So, how well do you think the Switch would have done? I would say the Switch would be significantly less successful if the Wii U hadn't bombed the way it did. And here's why. I don't have exact numbers, but a very large portion of the Switch's library is nothing but Wii U ports. You have to admit that. Almost the entire Wii U library is on the Switch now. So let's say a third. Let's say a third of the Switch's games are Wii U ports. How willing would you be to buy these games if you had already experienced them on Wii U? Not very. And if a large chunk of this new console's library is games you already own, that's a big ask. Asking me to pay like what, $300 for a new console, a new Switch, to get the Switch when I already have the Wii U, and there's like nothing but Wii U ports. It's like, I'm sorry. I especially think the launch. So we're gonna keep everything else the same, except the thing I just mentioned, where the Wii U was successful. Everyone bought the Wii U games. How big of a change is that? So the Switch's launch, your only thing going for you is the freaking Breath of the Wild game, which everyone already has on Wii U. No one's buying Switch at launch. I'm sorry, no one's buying Switch at launch except for the Nintendo diehards. You can just, it's a no-brainer. Even if you don't own Breath of the Wild yet, it's a no-brainer. If you already have the Wii U, you pay the $60 to get it on Wii U, and it's the same fucking game. It even runs a little bit better, from what I heard. Or you can buy a Switch for $300 and then also buy the Switch version of Breath of the Wild for another $60. Yeah, it's a no-brainer. People are just going to buy the Wii U version. I would be shocked if anyone bought the Switch version at launch. You know what I mean? Let's go beyond the launch. I was reading about the whole year, 2017. Let's look at the first year of the Switch's life, 2017. So aside from Breath of the Wild, which we already covered is basically a Wii U game, what else came out? Pokken Tournament DX, a Wii U port. So no one's buying that. I'm sorry, you didn't add enough new features for me to buy a brand new game, a $60 game. Sorry, I already have it on Wii U, if I cared about it. What else? We have. Oh yeah, Super Mario Odyssey came out later that year. I'll give you that. Again, there are games for Switch I'll give you. ARMS came out in 2017. ARMS is cool, so I'll give you ARMS. I'll give you Super Mario Odyssey. Again, I'm not saying 100%. I'm saying 50% of the Switch's success is due to the Wii U's success, or Wii U's downfall rather. I'll give you that. I'll give you ARMS and I'll give you Super Mario Odyssey, but I won't give you much else. Because again, we had what? We had Fire Emblem Warriors, which was also on 3DS. We had Pokken Tournament DX. We had, what am I missing here? I don't know if it was the first year, but Splatoon 2 came out. Maybe it was the first year, it might as well have been Splatoon 1 again. Let's be real here. Was Splatoon 2 that much better or different from Splatoon 1? They might as well have just ported Splatoon 1 over. I would say the same thing about Mario Maker. Mario Maker 2, the reason it hit so hard is because nobody played Mario Maker 1 on Wii U. They might as well have just ported over the first game, you know what I mean? Xenoblade Chronicles 2, I know that came out 2017. I don't know much about that series in general, to be honest. Was that like significantly better or different from Xenoblade Chronicles 1? I don't know. I was always much more interested in Xenoblade Chronicles X, which was the Wii U exclusive title, until very recently. What else am I missing? Oh, the big one. So the best selling, this will speak volumes. The best selling the best selling Switch game of all time is what? Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. That came out in 2017 as well. That is a Wii U port. It's another fucking Wii U port. I know eventually they added more and more content with the booster pack course or whatever. But I'm talking about the launch. I'm talking about the first year of the Switch. Are you going to buy this game? Are you going to buy Mario Kart 8 Deluxe for your Switch if you already have Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U? No, you're not. I'm sorry, you're just not. I struggle to think of why people would buy the Switch or the again aside from the diehard Nintendo fans that just buy everything Nintendo. I mean, if you already have the Wii U, you already have all these great games, in your library. So much of the Switch is dominated by Wii U ports. It's ridiculous. It really is. And they do weird ports. Like I still can't believe New Super Mario Brothers U Deluxe is a thing. U is in the title, man. It's like, why would you port that over? It's weird. Another big one people love: Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. It is Super Mario 3D World. It is a Wii U title. I know they add Bowser's Fury. It's like a 3-hour little extra campaign thing. That is not enough. That is not enough to justify another $60 purchase. I'm sorry, it's not. Just keep playing the Wii U version. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'll ramble on for a bit, but that's where I'm at, man. I'm trying to think, anytime, even when you bring up these examples of oh well, there's Splatoon 2 or there's Mario Maker 2. I'm like, okay, but those are sequels to what? Wii U games, and they're basically the same game again, right? Or frickin', we have Yoshi's Crafted World. Okay, well, that is obviously a sequel to Yoshi's Woolly World, and I think most people agree Yoshi's Woolly World is actually the better one. Oh, that's one. That's one that has not been ported over yet. Is Yoshi's Woolly World? It was ported to the 3DS, but that was that weird era where Nintendo was putting Wii U games on 3DS because they just couldn't sell them on Wii U. So people were willing to buy a far downgraded handheld version of of Woolly World instead of the Wii U version because nobody bought a Wii U. But yeah, okay, fine. Woolly World, that's on Wii U. We have Yoshi's Crafted World on Switch, which is very similar, but in many ways inferior. Yeah, I don't know. I'll look up a list at some point, but I've lost count of how many times there's been a deluxe or a plus version of a Wii U game on the Switch. It's getting annoying. It's just getting annoying. It's like you're really making sure we have no reason to go back to that console, aren't you? Why not just make the Switch backwards compatible with Wii U somehow? Maybe that would have been too hard. I don't know. Well, that would have destroyed freaking a third of the Switch's library right there. But yeah, I mean, I think it says it all right there. What are the biggest, best-selling, most defining Switch games? Two of them that come to mind right away are Breath of the Wild and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, both of which are Wii U games. I'll give you Tears of the Kingdom. But even that is a direct sequel to Breath of the Wild, a Wii U game. And a lot of people say that Tears of the Kingdom is just Breath of the Wild 2.0. Or 1.5 or whatever. It's built upon Breath of the Wild, which I'll say for the millionth time is a Wii U game. It's so. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know really where I'm going at this point. I think I'm just a bitter Wii U owner that's mad at the Switch's success, it built on the skeleton or the bones of the Wii U. But yeah, I think that the Wii U deserved a lot more love, and I think that people take it for granted, and I think that people don't realize how much the Switch owes to the Wii U. Another point I want to bring up is simply not just the games library, but also the mentality of Nintendo greatly changed with the Switch, and I think that was in direct response to the Wii U's abysmal failure. So Wii U's launch was not great. They were throwing out games New Super Mario U. They were taking forever to bring out the games that people actually wanted to play. Mario Kart 8 and Super Mario 3D World, those took forever to come out. If those had been, say, launch titles, I think we'd have a very different story with the Wii U success. But Switch, it was no, they came to play. They came to bat right away. They were okay, year one, let's go. Breath of the Wild, Super Mario Odyssey, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, let's go. And that mentality continues today with the Switch 2, where they're not fooling around. They're not fooling around with Switch 2. It's the first year of Switch 2. We already have Mario Kart World, Donkey Kong Bonanza, they're Kirby Air Riders. They're not screwing around. They're we got. they're worried. They're worried that every new console is going to have the 5-year lifespan of the Wii U. So, in some ways, yeah. Once again, that mentality is definitely owes a lot to the Wii U's, tragic downfall. Is a direct response to that. So, yeah, I don't know. Just give the Wii U some more love. Don't forget that it could happen to any console. at any time. I don't think Nintendo will forget this hard lesson they had to take with the Wii U anytime soon. But yeah, make a list of the true Switch exclusives that have in no way any any don't owe anything to the Wii U. I mean, again, Bayonetta 3, a sequel to Bayonetta 2, which was a Wii U exclusive. Splatoon 3, sequel to Splatoon 2, sequel to Splatoon 1, which was a Wii U game. It's like Paper Mario Origami King, a sequel to Paper Mario Color Splash. Like, it goes on and on and on. Pikmin 4, I'll give you Pikmin 4, but people really like Pikmin 3 Deluxe, which is, again, a Wii U game, a really good Wii U game. Zelda Wind Waker HD and Twilight Princess HD, those are bangers on Wii U. And again, those are just, ports of older games, but still, those were kind of, big hits on the Wii U. Were those were still never ported to Switch, I don't think, which is odd. And even Skyward Sword took fucking forever to come out for some reason. HD, I mean. But yeah, there you go. That's something. The wind is just destroying my umbrella. I don't know what's going on right now. But yeah, I've rambled on long enough. I'm sticking to my guns on this one. Tell me what you think. Tell me if I'm wrong with my numbers or my estimates or whatever. But like, I do think about a third of the Switch's library is Wii U ports. I think that the Switch owes at least 50% of its success to the Wii U's failure. Yeah. Have a good night.